haunting whispers, voices from beyond in the dark. In the depths of the night, when the world lay shrouded in darkness, and the silence was broken only by the soft rustle of leaves. Whispers could be heard, whispers that seemed to emanate from the very shadows themselves. These were the whispers in the dark, haunting voices from beyond that spoke of secrets long forgotten and terrors yet to come. Among those who dared to listen to the whispers were a group of curious souls drawn together by a shared fascination with the supernatural. They gathered in the dimly lit confines of an old abandoned house, their hearts pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As they sat in the airy silence, air thick with anticipation, the whispers began to echo through the darkness. At first, they were barely audible, mere murmurs that seemed to drift on the edge of perception. But as the night wore on, they grew louder and more insistent, their words taking a sinister edge that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard them. Among the group was Emily, the brave leader who had organized the gathering in search of answers; David, the skeptic, who scoffed at the idea of the supernatural; and Sophia, the sensitive soul whose connection to the spirit world was stronger than she cared to admit. As the whispers grew louder, Emily urged the group to remain calm, her voice steady, despite the rising sense of unease that hung in the air. "We came here seeking answers," she said, her words echoing in the darkness. "Now it's time to listen." But David remained unconvinced, his skepticism unwavering even in the face of the airy phenomenon unfolding before him. "This is ridiculous," he muttered, his voice tinged with annoyance. "There's a logical explanation for all of this." Sophia, however, felt a chill run down her spine as she listened to the whispers, her senses tingling with the strange energy that seemed to permeate the air. She reached out tentatively, her hand trembling as she brushed against something unseen, a presence that lingered just beyond the reach of her fingertips. As the night wore on, the whispers grew louder and more urgent, their words echoing through the darkness like a chorus of lost souls crying out for release. The group listened in awe and terror, their minds racing with questions and fears that refused to be silenced. And then, just as suddenly as they had begun, the whispers stopped, leaving the group sitting in stunned silence. Emily, her heart pounding in her chest, rose to her feet, her eyes shining with excitement. "We have to find out what's causing this," she declared, her voice filled with determination. "There's something here, something beyond our understanding, and we need to uncover the truth." With a sense of purpose, the group began to search the abandoned house, their footsteps echoing in the darkness as they sought out the source of the whispers. And as they delved deeper into the shadows, they realized that the truth they sought might be far more terrifying than they had ever imagined. For in the darkness of the abandoned house, secrets lay hidden, secrets that whispered of horrors long forgotten and darkness yet to come. And as the group uncovered the truth, they realized that some mysteries were better left unsolved. For in the depths of the night, the whispers in the dark held sway, and the voices from beyond spoke of terrors that could never be fully understood. As the group delved deeper into the bowels of the abandoned house, the air grew thick with a palpable tension. Dust danced in the dim light, and the creaking floorboards beneath their feet seemed to groan in protest, as if the very foundation of the house recoiled at their intrusion. Sophia, the sensitive soul, led the way, guided by an unseen force that drew her towards the decrepit staircase descending into the unknown. The whispers, although momentarily silenced, lingered in the air like a haunting melody, a reminder that the spirits within these walls were far from dormant. The staircase groaned beneath their weight as they descended into the subterranean depths of the house. The darkness seemed to swallow them whole, and their flashlights cast feeble beams that danced on the damp, decaying walls. The whispers returned, now more urgent, as if pleading for acknowledgement. Sophia's senses heightened, and she could feel a presence, a spectral energy that clung to the very air they breathed. At the bottom of the staircase, they found themselves in a crypt-like chamber, the air heavy with the scent of mildew and decay. The room was adorned with faded wallpaper, peeling away from the walls, revealing glimpses of a time long past. As they explored further, they stumbled upon an old mirror that seemed to trap the echoes of the whispers. David, the skeptic, approached it with a scoff, dismissing the eerie atmosphere as a mere product of their collective imagination. But as his reflection stared back at him, distorted and elongated, the whispers reached a fevered pitch. The temperature in the room plummeted, and a sudden gust of wind blew out their flashlights, plunging them into complete darkness. Panic set in, and in the inky blackness, the group could feel an unseen presence closing in. Whispers surrounded them like a sinister symphony, each voice more mournful and tormented than the last. Just as fear threatened to overwhelm them, the room was illuminated by an ethereal glow. Before them materialized the figures of long-lost souls, apparitions trapped between the worlds. Their eyes bore the weight of untold stories, and their lips moved with silent desperation. Sophia, now overcome with a sense of empathy, extended her hand towards one of the apparitions. A chilling breeze swept through the chamber, and she felt a connection with the spirit longing to be heard. The apparition's voice, once part of the haunting chorus, now resonated with clarity. It spoke of a tragic tale, of lives lost and promises broken. The whispers, it seemed, were the echoes of a past that refused to be forgotten. The group listened, enraptured by the sorrowful confession, until the apparition slowly faded away, their voices dissipating into the silent void. The chamber, once suffused with spectral energy, now felt strangely serene. As the group made their way back to the surface, they carried with them the weight of the stories they had uncovered. The house on Elm Street, once a vessel for the haunted whispers, now stood silent and still, its secrets revealed to those who dared to listen.